Subway's now slicing their meats fresh. Try a new deli hero from the Subway series and taste the difference for yourself.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Welcome back to the LCS Challengers League, and welcome back to our Subway halftime refresh. I'm Mazel. I'm joined by Kangas and Alk Battery yet again after a smackaroo of game number one.
Yes!
Mirage Alliance came out swinging, but speaking of, we got to come out swinging too, because I'm going to bring up a game I like to call Three Little Words. I've grabbed some clips, and with those clips, I'm going to assign a caster. We're going to bring the clip up frozen. You're going to tell me in 3 words what happens. We're going to see how close you get. If you actually get the clip, you get a point. So,
Mazel's testing my memory live on broadcast. This is terrible.
Absolutely, because you do it to me all the time.
Nice.
So
I do it.
I will say I changed it up this time. I put the clips in randoms orders. It's going to be even better because doing it in a line is too easy. So let's go ahead and bring up the first clip that I have here. I'm going to give this one right to Kangas. So, Mr. Kangas.
Okay.
What exactly happens here in 3 words?
It got smaller on my screen. Okay, let's take a look. What is going on here? This is when Alorem TP'd on the previous wave, and it felt like they were going to go for it, but Zig's clear was too big.
Bro, it's 3 words!
Oh, right, it's 3 words.
It's 3 words,
Can I start over?
It's 3 words. What the whole
Sketch
name
dies
of the game?
early. Boom, there we go.
Sketch
That's
dies
the
early.
word.
All right, we're going to go ahead and play the clip now. Alk Battery, let's see how close he got. You'll be my judge.
Dude, can I just not give it to him because he just gave like 15 plus there?
It's in the title of the game, and I still missed it.
He did
But that was such a
technically die
cop-out
early.
answer. He didn't give like what happens. He just gave Sketch died. All right, cool.
Dies early. This is what happens when Sketch, because the previous play, Sketch was alive and topped the damage charts.
Go.
This time he dies
Let
early,
him.
and
Are we
Mirage
giving
just
the
run
point
with
out?
the fight.
I'll give him it, but I think this was just confirmation that he's a really good caster because that's typically how we name our clips for the show.
Yeah, of
is
course, of
like
course. Yeah,
this X, then like
Yes,
3 words,
yes.
done.
Perfect.
Not
All right,
my
let's go ahead
greatest
and bring
look.
up the second clip here. This time we did give Kangas a point. We're going to give this one to Alk, see if he can match you here, Kangas. As I want to bring up this clip and have you, Alk, tell me 3 words. What is going to happen?
I remember this. This is Supernova flub mid.
All right, Kangas, let's go ahead and see what he
I don't
what
think
he did.
that's this
Supernova
one.
Oh,
flub
no, I
mid.
That's not this
I
one. This is
agree.
the one where
Trolled
Robbie
it,
Bomb
bro.
gets first blood.
No.
You trolled
Okay, well, I
it.
at least followed the rules this time.
You did
He
follow
did.
the rules.
You know, can we give him half a point for that since he gave
there
me a
ain't
full
no half
point?
points here. I'm ruthless. It's promotion day, baby.
Wait, no, this
you're
was
in
fine.
or you're out.
Wait.
So
Oh,
it
wait,
was
am I
the
wrong?
pick- It was the pick where Quacker. It looks really good, and then he just gets completely.
and
caught.
then it looks really bad
And
instantly.
then it looks really bad.
Well, I was also thinking of a different play that happened at this
Oh,
exact
no.
same
Oh, no.
location.
We just
See,
moved
let's
forward.
give him the
So-
point.
We'll
You
give
know
him
what?
the point. We're gonna be nice since Kangas is lost. Let's go.
We're back to even.
struggling with
Okay,
it, guys.
look.
We gotta keep on rolling here. Let's go ahead and bring up our third clip. This one I'm gonna give right back to you, Kangas.
All
Let's
right.
go ahead and bring up
I
the
got it
clip
this time.
frozen, and we'll
I know the
see
rules.
3 little words.
What?
What could possibly happen here?
I remember this.
Yeah, you do.
What?
Yeah, you do.
You just see the top of my head there. Okay.
Too many words.
So I'm looking at the
Sympathy
mini map.
point. All right, Kangas, I'm gonna need your 3 words. We go.
I don't know.
Hey, that
I'll give you the
counts.
steal. I'll give you the steal, Alk. I'll give you the steal.
That was
Random teleport in.
It's not random, but go ahead and play the clip.
I mean,
We'll see
Robbie
what
Bomb
happens.
teleports in here, but I'm
It's
trying to
not
remember
random.
like
He
what
wanted
happens
to kill
after.
them. I'm not giving anybody points for that one.
He gets
I don't
like
know.
2
I'm
kills here,
feeling.
right?
Look, it's because all of these clips are like because of how the game went. They're all like negative slightly
does
towards
get-
Supernova, and it's like okay, we teleported in. Oh,
I
this is
like
the Flash. This is the
Yeah.
Flash. The
So
sad
yeah.
Flash.
the thing is, what I wanted to highlight here is the fact that Robbie Bob goes for it. This is not a position where they are in any kind of situation to have
Stop
it,
looking.
but the
Stop
fact
looking.
that you get to see a lot of the aggression still come through in these kinds of situations from Supernova. Robbie Bob's still trying to go for plays. I feel like that is the important factor. And if we're going to see Supernova bring back game number 2, it's going to be off of these decisive plays, even if it didn't go right. So I want to go ahead and bring up our next clip here as we're going to go on to the next one. Yeah,
Do I get a point for saying I don't know? I still
No,
need an
you
answer.
don't.
There's 3
You
words.
I was gonna say
We don't give any
we should take
points
a
for that one.
double O's on that one.
So we have our next clip here. This one is going to be a little bit of a doozy, but we're going to give that one to Alk.
Flank of Destiny.
Flank of Destiny.
Was their
let's
destiny
go
to
ahead and
lose
play
the
it.
fight?
We said, remember when we were in the call, we were saying that this play could potentially be the one that we look in the highlight package and are like, this is where it all turned for Mirage Alliance.
Yeah. True. True.
Is that
So
yeah?
is it their
That's your
flank of
analysis?
destiny? Like they're happy with this flank? I think Trevor hard committed to the play. I like the idea of the play. It's just the execution. I mean, this is what happens. They still lose the fight
Quacker was
afterwards.
so close to going off there.
Yeah.
Very close.
But
and
then-
yeah.
The turnaround.
The
So that's
team
the thing
fights-
I wanted to highlight here is Mirage, the turnaround, right? Like that,
Yeah.
the fact that they are sticking with it, even with the blinking health bars, the fact that they're still trying to press up, and it doesn't necessarily go their way. But I think if Mirage are going to be a strong team, they are going to make these kinds of decisions together, and I think that's something we can really highlight here, especially. I did have one clip. I don't know if we have enough time for it. I hope we do, because it was probably my favorite clip out of all of them. But it looks
I
like we
think we're
don't
ready
have
for
time for it.
draft,
It
yeah.
was the Neo double kill there. In the bot lane, the turnaround at
Ooh.
that early fight. So
Yep.
it was a lot of fun. Anyways, we have game number 2 ready to go. So guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Mazel. Wait, Alk, did you get a point there? I don't even remember.
I was gonna say Lennon is not here anymore, so I'm taking that point.
I
I'm just
think
gonna,
you got
he's
the
not
point.
here,
You get the sympathy
so
point at that point, so I'll concede the game to you. Congratulations, you
Let's
won that
go.
one. Now let's see if Mirage is able to win another one here, because they could make quick work of Supernova. If they can string together 2 more games like that, then this is definitively the Mirage Alliance that was promised, because that was the concern after their first round against Lit, was they just got 2-0'd by the bottom seed. Like, is
Yeah.
Mirage Alliance really all that? And I think that after these types of performances, yeah, they are.
For sure, and not only today's dominance, but yesterday up against Team Ambition, that game, that series was not particularly close, and I'm glad as a qualifier broadcast, it sucks to see one of our fellow teams in a team kill go down, but Mirage Alliance surging so far through the back end of this promotion tournament, and now we're in a bit of an interesting situation. So now Supernova, they had side select, they chose red this time, and now that they've swapped it up, we're going to see what Mirage Alliance are going to be able to pick up, because it has been a lot of priority towards Tristana, but also that Caitlyn for Neo is near undefeated at this point.
True. It is terrifying. Interesting that Supernova is banning away the Maokai and the Kindred. Maybe the Kindred makes sense. I don't really see Chad necessarily as the Maokai player, but they're taking away bans that Mirage had banned against them in the previous game, so Mirage will go for the Olaf Darius earlier on this time and lock in Rel for themselves. It was Dardoch on it last game, but still is a flex pick.
Exactly. For Chad, funny that you mentioned the Maokai. We always joked that this was going to be a flex pick, but they never actually used it. It was always just, Alorum, you're getting put on Maokai jail, and we're going to give Chad some really fun champions to play instead of those tanks. So, pretty cool stuff there.
Just gotta impress
Supernova,
Dardoch, you know? Come on.
getting themselves the Azir. I think if we see this paired up with a really strong jungler or maybe a support counter pick here, if we do think that this is going to be another kind of really strong support pick for Dardoch, I think it would be very, very good, as already we've seen Trevor have the mindset to be looking for flanks, looking for plays, and you just give Robbie Bob something that you can play in a front-to-back team fight, and I think you're feeling comfortable as Supernova.
Very early Volley Bear lock-in for
All right.
music. Now, he has played this so far in NACL.
Yes.
It's kind of like more his 4th string jungler, I guess, when some of his other top comfort picks are banned away. But it's so early to lock it in, and now Mirage Alliance will counter it with a lot of range. One of the weaknesses of Volley Bear, I mean, you have that ultimate to try and get in, but still, you can get heavily chunked out before you make it to that point. So I actually kind of like this from Mirage Alliance.
For Supernova right now, the identity that they have so far with the champions they have is we want to just go forward. We want to be able to go in. We need to be able to find one kill, and that opens up the rest. Kind of what we see from Mirage is now they should build out a tank shell. This should be kind of like a crab or a lobster if you really want to. You want to be able to break that hard shell of all the tanks, of everybody protecting the nice goods that are Caitlyn and Ziggs. And then, you break it open, boom. You get in there, you take over.
Caitlyn and Ziggs are like the claws in this analogy.
Yes, they're
right?
they're delicious crab meat, in the
cool.
in the pincers.
Let's see if Supernova's got any butter to put on that one, because they lock in Jinx for themselves here. Not an AD carry that I'm used to seeing into the Ziggs as like a counter, you have any insight into this one, Alk? I know that you are the bot laner here on the broadcast.
Well, considering there's a Caitlyn, I think this is going to be really difficult. You know, right?
You know what? Fair enough.
Jinx will have access to being able to clear the wave early on, but as items start to get up, and as Caitlyn continues to get range, as well as just have, let's say, we get into a team fight, she's there first. Those traps are very difficult. But Jinx has been named the game for literally her entire existence. It takes one kill, and the fight just kind of ends. And that's kind of what this Volibear is going to be. I'm interested to see if this is something that Quacker might pick up. I know we were talking about it being for Music, and 9 times out of 10, it is going to be for him. But Quacker does have an extensive back catalog of different kind of bruisers up there, and we've already seen it get played by players like Dragoon.
Fair enough. Yeah, I got so excited with the Ziggs, still just assuming it's bot lane, but that would be into mid, into that Azir. Now the rest of the bans come through. J4 banned away. See that earlier on, but Nocturne alongside it, and then Renekton and the Cassante. So Supernova will go for the Nautilus, save Quacker's counter pick till the very last.
That's what we expect for Supernova, right? We've been hyping up Quacker as he is that guy on this team. When we look at them in the early game, he's the guy that is getting them the early advantages. His individual lane prowess has been really, really good. The most solo killingest player in the league. You know, you got to give him the tools. You can give him that last pick in the draft. You do a lot of work here, especially up against a Lorem, who does favor his tanks as we see him pick up his Scion. Not bad into the Volibear, but I like that Mirage are kind of playing with, hey, we don't know where this, this Volibear could go. We are still waiting to see what Supernova are going to go with.
The shell thickens for Mirage Alliance here, as that Scion will be another frontliner for the Caitlyn, for the Ziggs. And like you said, Alorem is going to be probably the worst type of top laner for Quacker, the most solo killingest top laner in the league to go against. Because he's going to play the tanks. He's going to play weak side, and it's so hard to actually kill Alorem. He's so good at his picks. And we're going for the Alistair as well. This shell is thick from Mirage Alliance. Look at all these tanks.
Ooh, okay, let's see. Supernova, you need some tank busters. You need someone that can get you kills first. Going up against the Scion, it's an okay matchup. It gives Supernova the ability yet again to play on side lanes. But with how the game has gone and with how important dragons are, I don't know if this is a great strategy. This requires Supernova yet again to get early advantages. You have a Nautilus, which is great for that. You have Volibear as well. So we need to see Music really get active with Trevor to try to make some early plays happen. Otherwise, Mirage Alliance, they get set up and it is almost impenetrable, their defenses.
When does Supernova's comp spike? I'm like racking my brain to figure out when are they actually strongest.
It's like so imagine Volibear is, I know there's like a weird like car theme going on a lot in Challengers League, like you're building cars out of like different teams and like this person's the engine. Music early game has to be that guy. He has to be the person who is making plays, opening up spots for his team, and maybe we see some dives, especially if you have a Jinx and a Nautilus. Going against Caitlyn, level 6s, I think that there's a reasonable expectation that we see flashes get blown, summoners are gone, all that we can see, and we're already in the game here.
We are into game, everybody. Game 2 as Mirage Alliance lead the series with 1 win in this best of 5, but Supernova still have life left to breathe. They want to defend their NACL spot going into 2024. And right now, chat is spamming Mirage Alliance. I think that they've switched. We had a couple of turncoats here in chat, Elk, because game 1, it was all Supernova fans.
Oh, man. They've come back out, although it looks like they're making a late-game surge, which was not something we could say last game. We're even getting T-Tor. Everybody crack out the T-Tors. Get ready for all your T-Tors. Remember, if you sub, you can not only help support with revenue sharing, all that money going to the teams in Challengers League, but you also use the really, really based emotes. The Yumi Stare is the best. There is no other competition. There you go. You get Lennon as well.
True.
You would be Pog.
The Cowboy Pog. All right, observers, now give me a Gwen POV. Can we do that? Can we like walk through Gwen's eyes? Not quite exactly what I was looking for, but
you were looking for like first person. That's insane, bro. No, League Director is hard. Okay, you show some respect to our observers.
They are doing an incredible job.
Yes.
So let's talk about early game then. You were talking about Music being the engine. Where do we expect Music to go? You got Gwen, Azir, Jinx, Nautilus as the lanes to look at early.
Well, seeing that he's starting on the top side, you could just keep going. He is going to have red buff as a Volibear, he also has the press the attack, so going for trades that are a little bit shorter and definitely wanting to spike on that. But going bot lane is not bad. You do have setup. My only issue is that there is a Caitlyn as well as an Alistar, which is going to stop and stifle so much engage from Supernova. Something that I didn't really notice up until now, Merc Treads from Mirage Alliance are going to have huge value as you take a look at this trade. Dardoch.
Trevor and Sketch got that level 2 down. One auto from Sketch to claim the final minion, and Trevor throws out the hook while the auto is going out there. Really good coordination.
That was something that we talked about in draft, right? Early on, especially without items, Jinx is just going to have a better time at being able to push a minion wave, of being able to clear all of them, thanks to her rockets and her Q. So, good job coming out from Supernova, getting some early trades. This is going to force some pots, or no pots actually, coming out from Mirage Alliance. And you already see Neo, actually with itemization, another look into his mind here as we took an itemization in the game 1. He's going for a call, not afraid of this laning phase, recognizing I shouldn't be getting pressured. There's no reason for Volibear to be looking for many ganks. We shouldn't get pressured in that sense. And so by doing this, he's going to be a little bit greedy. He's going to not have as much damage as maybe a Caitlyn would, but looking to spike a little bit earlier on into the game.
Part of what I was hoping to cover there when we're talking about Music's jungle pathing is I don't really see a clear lane. It's like, oh, this is an A+ to gank, right? Like,
sure.
This is the clear answer here. Jinx has Nautilus to set up, so you have a little more CC. Maybe you can get the Jinx resets, but Alistar can headbutt you away. Caitlyn's really long range. Kind of hard to get on top of them in the first place. I actually think Quacker might be the answer. If you get Gwen ahead in the Sion matchup, she's now unanswerable in a side lane. That seems to be where Supernova have found a lot of their wins in the past anyway, is through their top lane.
Exactly, and that's hopefully what we'll see after Music takes this reset. He's actually already gotten some vision down on the bottom side. He has done the dreaded Volibear full clear. This is almost as kind of notorious as maybe the Lee Sin full clear or the Jarvan full clear. He's going to back, hopefully get some boots for himself, if not go for damage stats instead, and move on, mosey on up to the top side. You see that he got vision down here, specifically on the Raptors. They know that there's nothing. They know that Chad should be on the top side of the map.
Well, no,
and
they have a forward ward. I think that they would have seen Chad walk in there.
Exactly. So now it's kind of like, okay, well, we thought he was going to be on the top side. We should know his camps are going to come up soon. It's a good timer for Supernova here to potentially get more vision and continue to track Chad, as they should know, hey, if this guy hasn't backed at this point, he's probably trolling.
That will be a double scuttle for Music, as he will get the top one, maybe even invade. This is where the strength of Volibear in this matchup could be. Yeah, drops the ward, walks back towards the top side. As soon as you see Chad hit that Gromp, though, although now despotted from the ward that was in the line brush. Okay, and not going to go back to invade onto Chad, so the junglers will not spot each other. I mean, they'll see each other, but they're not going to interact with each other early on.
Wonderful. That's exactly what I expect from a Volibear. Just interact with 0 champions. We're waiting till level 6. Doesn't mean that you will have to pilot a little bit different, right? Like, hey, look, for Supernova, if you're not going to go for early dives, then if we're not going to go for early ganks... Oh, wait a minute. Neo.
Big from Trevor right there. A lot of damage onto Neo. Nautilus better at the trades than the Alistar. If you get the auto resets, you're doing extra damage per hit. You get the shield. Goes for another hook onto Dardoch. They're fighting in the wave this time. Dardoch still wants it, though. They feel like they can do this. Even with the minions assisting Supernova, that's flash out of Trevor.
So 2 small interactions here. One, the keystones for our 2 supports. Dardoch taking the phase rush so that he can get in and out of fights very quickly. And Trevor going for the Glacial Augment means these fights, if they're in close quarters, you're giving the advantage over to Supernova's bot lane for the time being. However, that play right there was really clever by Trevor, as he went in and immediately flashes to not get hit with the headshot. If you would have gotten trapped there by Caitlyn, that's a kill. That's first blood going over to Mirage Alliance, and they can continue to use this bot lane as a point of pressure. But by escaping that, it allows for them to escape, it allows for them to recall and to kind of match their bot lane, and now they're actually getting set up for an early dragon here. This is one of the ways I think that we can start to see Supernova get back in. It was something that they lacked in the first game.
Interesting to see, despite the fact that Trevor flashed away, had lower health bar, it felt like Mirage Alliance maybe were the better of that trade bot. It's Supernova on the dragon early. Chad spotted, shuffled back in, has to flash away. Big Ziggs pop, and will claim first blood. Dardoch with an engage for more. Sudsy grabs the double kill, looking for that triple now onto Sketch. Disaster for Supernova as Mirage's mid laner steps up huge.
Sudsy has been him. every time in the qualifiers. In summer, it was a lot of Tristana. He was playing it even before it was cool. He was the Tristana hipster back in spring. And now, finally, we get to see Sudsy really start to step up. I thought up against Lit, he had this same matchup. Messages was first picking Azir. He had the Ziggs, and he wasn't able to get a lot done. But even with a pick onto Chad, it's first blood, and it's 3 kills in total going over to him. This Ziggs is going to be a problem now for Supernova.
Oh, just
Jesus.
filthy. On to 4. Now we're back to live. Supernova, though, they're finding Dardoch for themselves. Get the kill to Sketch. Not going to get it. Minion wave might just kill Sketch if he keeps going for it. Some music instead has to grab this. One headbutt might be enough.
No.
Okay, it's the longest chase in the history of League of Legends, but they give the kill to Robbie Bob.
Okay. Good punish from Supernova. I didn't see how quite they got that set up, but we did see the wave that they were on. Sketch almost dying to what looked like 2 to 3 minions waves worth. It seemed like Mirage Alliance had stacked a very massive wave and then got punished there as they were trying to crash it. Good job from Music to be there on that timer. He is still matching Chad. Chad getting level 6 first should be interesting as we kind of see them start to play for more objectives, that Rift Herald being the next one up. And Neo's got to be careful. It is only Trevor here, but he shouldn't know that Nautilus is here unless they show.
He's got Hex Flash. Maybe they
Music
wait for
is
Music
coming.
to come down. Music's the closest one. Watch for the timer. I don't think Neo's going to get there fast enough, but look at Quacker top lane meanwhile. Chad level 6 will look for the gank here. Chain the CC and the knock-up, and there's nowhere for Quacker to go. Alorem gets the kill. Meanwhile, Neo flashed out bot lane, does not give one in reply.
I need to check Quacker's tenacity at that point. He's like, all right, guys, I just got stunned. You check that in the death recap, and it's like 4.5 seconds of CC. Cool.
I was in combat
really
for
awesome.
5 seconds, and I was CC'd for 4.5 of that, so...
Wonderful. I love getting crowd control. And you see already from Mirage Alliance starting to pick up a lot of that a lot of those Merc treads already. Dardoch moving towards it, Chad moving towards it as well. You look at the side of Supernova, Gwen, Volibear, the Azir, the Nautilus, all magic damage and a lot of crowd control. So it's going to be on Sketch to provide that physical damage. We talked about him last game, how important he was going to be. And we talked about it in draft as well. Jinx does really not like getting outranged, and so a Caitlyn and a Ziggs, who is this far ahead already, is kind of a doomer, and kind of not looking forward to that when we get to those team fights.
That wasn't Trevor's actual flash, was it? I didn't see that. Surely I just missed the charge up. Either way, they're looking for bot lane. Mirage Alliance are able to get away, but there's plates over to Sketch. He picks up 2 for all the time that they spent down here, trying to get some of that gold in his pocket.
And this is the reverse of what we were talking about, where we were expecting for a Caitlyn to have priority over the lane. It was them by getting the flash out of Neo. He can't stay under. They brought so many people over. You have to be on Supernova saying, guys, we're going to try and dive bot lane if they stay. Mirage Alliance showing respect to their opponent, but it is leading to a small advantage starting to grow here for Sketch. And for a player who really has had a really rough 2023, was on that CLG Faith roster as a support. They never really got in sync. Then come summer, is back in the AD carry position, but like you were saying, Supernova really didn't get their kind of act together up until midway through the split, and now it feels like, okay, we've gotten a few months in, we've gotten all our scrims, we've even gotten a small break thanks to the end of the season and to promotion. Sketch is starting to reappear as that AD carry that we saw back in Tier 3, kind of step up very big for a lot of teams.
Hasn't gotten a kill yet, but is getting the resources with all the farm, with all the plates, bot lane. Music gone down there a few times. Robbie Bob in the mid lane, meanwhile, on to Sudsy. Big satchel knocking Music back onto the turret. Now Chad has rejoined in and gets the kill onto Robbie Bob, who is tanking turret. Oh, Music just charged it up, and I think that was only 1 turret shot onto Robbie Bob, but that was enough.
And look at what happened here. I mean, they traded that mid lane fight. I think that might have been a shutdown. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I think it's an advantageous trade here for Mirage Alliance. Look at who's clearing the mid wave. Chad picking that up for themselves 30 seconds before the dragon spawns. They're actually looking now onto bot lane.
Oh, he's jumping away. Trevor flashes in. Dark's got to buy a lot of time, and Neo's going to survive it!
No!
Dardoch, the hero! Neo buying so much space. That is a dead Trevor as well.
Wait a
Sudsy will
minute.
teleport in just to make sure that they get it, and will even take the kill credit. Mirage Alliance do it again.
Guys, Alorum just got a solo kill
What?
off of looking top lane. You saw it in the picture there. Everything going right for Mirage Alliance. It feels like they can do no wrong in this series so far, as
Well-
they're winning the top lane matchup that we'd set up for Quacker. They're winning now the bot lane as well. Mid lane had already been doing well for themselves. I mean, Supernova, we've got to get into high gear. This is potentially your last game. Sudsy and Neo, man.
Oh, music, I'm sorry, brother. That's what happens when a bear tries to chase down a hunter and somebody with a bunch of bombs, I guess. Either way, the range advantage for the carries of Mirage Alliance is just too dang long. Music taken down.
Does Trevor try to look for this? I was like, he got very comfortable with that wall there. I don't know if we were going to get a Hex Flash over it. See that Chad has just been staying mid here. Really just wants to try to clear this wave, almost letting Robbie Bob die to the turret yet again. I think this has been really good play coming out from Mirage Alliance. Not only punishing that bot lane play and being able to outplay in that situation, but then saving mid turret. A lot of other junglers would have just been taking, I mean, all of these camps that he has available, but Chad respecting how important mid lane is.
This one getting a little silly here. As
Uh-oh.
Sudsy, the focus now of Supernova. Robbie Bob staying alive for long enough. Music will get the kill credit there. Now in onto Dardoch. The big cow will try and walk away and has enough of a health bar to get away. So something for Supernova regardless.
All right, Sudsy is getting taken down. I love that we're getting scrappy, however, because it means that Supernova, they're in it. They are kind of awake. There's a lot of times when we might see games where, hey, the teams are just not looking for aggressive plays. They're saying, let's try to minimize our losses. Supernova, I think, realizing we cannot be in that mode. We cannot be in a risk-saving mode. We need to be a risk-taking team at this point. Mirage
They're
Alliance
taking a
now.
risk right here. They're
Chad.
onto the dragon, stolen by Chad. Mirage Alliance, even if they will lose their jungler, will claim objectives as the bot turret falls too. Oh, what are you supposed to do if you're Supernova right now?
It's two dragons. It's a turret as well. Neo's going to be finishing his items just a little bit quicker now. As you see, he's already got a 20 CS lead and he has to be feeling a little bit good with the gold in his pocket at this point. Remember, they are the ones that also have the Zig, so there's a turret taking potential.
Oh.
Sudsy, man, let's go. He just doesn't care. He says,
What
keep
did Sudsy
sending
eat
them
for
mid.
breakfast, everybody? Like, what is going on right now? This man is popping off.
Well, not only that, but he's also been focused a lot in this game. There have been 3 to 4 members in his lane, which, to be fair, I think was also the same strategy that we should have seen in Game 1 here for Supernova. It was that Ziggs matchup. We're saying, okay, you can get the flash out from these mages, thumbs up. You're playing the Syndra, that's what we should be looking for. Now in Game 2, with a very similar set of tools, they are doing that with a little bit better of accuracy this time. They're landing kills now onto Sudsy, but it feels like for every 1 kill that they're able to get on him, he's getting like 2 or 3 in return.
Robbie Bob is still getting some gold. I mean, he's
True.
3-1-1. As the Leandries, Squacker's back is rudely stopped right there. But Sudsy is still in the lead, going for that Dark Seal again. We saw in Game 1, it got to a full stack Mejai's before he finally died. And he will be looking to stack that up yet again. Here is Neo back onto the map here. Mirage Alliance have gotten away from the bot lane. We're no longer in standard lane assignments, as they'd already taken that first turret down there.
Look at where everybody is kind of set up across the map.
Oh.
We're just going for
This
it.
is a TP
Sketch,
from
you have
Aurora.
set up too far. Trevor is here.
There's no
Next
one
closest
else around,
member
though.
is Robbie.
Ooh, Alorm just going for the damage on the Sketch instead. Sketch has
80
the flash,
carry.
will not use it yet, uses Ghost instead, and gets out just fine.
He almost got 80 carried. He was at full health before this play, by the way.
I feel like Alorm, he stopped the ult rather than impacting. I feel like he might have been able to angle that to hit it, but either way.
No,
surely
no,
Sketch. No, has to flash away this time. Both summoner spells down, and while that's happening, bot Mirage Alliance, they take a top turret.
I wanted to talk about this during all of that. It was the lane assignments that we got to see from Mirage Alliance. Supernova trying to grab this bottom tier 1, and the entire time, Mirage Alliance, they have Neo sitting in topside. They get that turret, and Rift Herald was just about to spawn. This is such a huge advantage for them. 5,000 already at almost 16 minutes. Music, either you're sending it, brother, or we're just giving this objective. And a dragon in 2 minutes, I think this mid turret's up next. Mirage Alliance are not stopping. They're giving 0 quarter to Supernova.
And you can argue that they're scaling on Supernova's side, that they can go for a Gwen split push later. Azir and Jinx scale pretty well. But the Volibear is building full tank and will still get popped. Like, Trevor on the Alistar is not going to be a true front line either. So you don't really have anybody to absorb the range advantage of Mirage Alliance. I don't even know if I favor Supernova. As this game continues, I still really like Mirage Alliance in the late game as they set up for these objectives. The next one will be that Dragon in a minute 45. But Trevor might actually look for something here.
All right,
Tankiest
Trevor
guy,
is
though.
in that flank. It's 2 tanks, though. I don't know if you really want to do this. Okay, they're getting in those
We got
teleports.
Robbie Bob. Trevor's going to try and lock down Alorem. Robbie Bob with the Leandri. He's getting a lot of damage here onto the
Quacker.
tanks. Now Quacker is kind of trying to keep Neo busy here, but he's just got no health bar. He's down. Traded as... looks like Chad cleaned up there, so 1-for-1 so far. Mirage Alliance push away Supernova, though. It's a fight before the Dragons even spawned, a minute before it's even spawned. So 1-for-1 so far, and everyone walks away.
All right. So teleports out, coming out from Quacker, and we also traded that for Sudsies as well. I was going to say, the most important part for me as we take a look at this replay is where all the damage dealers are right now. Quacker got that teleport in, like we were talking about. Sketch is not hitting at this point. It is all on Robbie Bob.
Yeah.
He got his Conqueror already procced. Quacker is applying pressure onto the back line, and there's a small moment here where it's potential for Supernova, but Music has to dive backwards with the ultimate instead. Sketch finally joins this fight, but the threat of Sudsy is just way too much.
Really slick there from Dardoch to realize I got to get on Quacker, peel for the carries. If they lock down the Gwen, there's nothing she can do to actually threaten Sudsy and Neo. And look at that subway damage dealt last team fight. Robbie Bob was just free hitting tanks the entire time.
That's kind of what we had set up for. Nice job from Robbie Bob to get out from under the turret and under from the combo of Dardoch. But you look across the map, they've summoned the Rift Herald here, Dragon as the next play as well. As we set up for this next one, no flash on Sudsy, and no flash here on Sketch.
Oh, they're catching him out. Trevor's down.
Okay.
He had flash in the earlier play. And Mirage Alliance have enough to chase it. And now they'll look at another turret here. Lorm tanking that one up, but they don't have a wave, so decide to back off instead. Mirage Alliance are just playing with their wallets right now.
Oh, here, wait, we got the POV. We got the POV wanted. Just like 18 minutes.
POV. It's a side lane turret. That's what they have to do. Supernova's really only win condition at this point is Quacker in a side lane. If you get this Gwen strong enough, no one will be able to answer her one-on-one.
So, I have 2 things now. I saved this as Robbie Bob's up next.
Robbie Bob might just be dead. Hi, Robbie
We're
Bob.
right on that
Everyone
one.
give some waves in the chat. Do we have a wave emote for the channel?
I don't know. That's a
we
good
do.
question. I was going to say for Supernova that I'm going to say this dragon, not very important. I'm sorry, Magical. It's a Cloud Dragon. We're not quite at the soul yet, so I'll let you kind of hang around if you are in chat. But this is a time where Supernova need to be gathering gold for items. They need to be finishing their second core, whether that is the Mythic or something like a Nashor's Tooth here for Robbie Bob. Sketch is about 1,000 away from picking up his Infinity Edge, and that is going to be where I want to see Supernova kind of stand their ground. They are 6,000 gold behind, and it's starting to crest to that moment where we say the game is unwinnable at this point. Mirage Alliance move on 2-0 in the series. You look across from them, they're getting their third items here, so really we need to see Supernova get creative. Mirage Alliance, hands off the wheel, hands off the keyboard. They are doing nothing wrong in these situations.
They're teleporting in right now. Mirage Alliance want this. It's a Lorm with an engage angle. They're going to look for Trevor, and they just chase him down. Nowhere to escape to. Robbie Bob will get a little bit of poke damage, but the shields even prevent that. Flash from Dardoch. They want this is here.
Okay,
Shuffles
hold up
back
now, guys.
onto the turret, knocked up. Ace in the hole should be enough, and Neo goes on a rampage.
The fact that both Alorm and Dardoch stand there, they're throwing up the emotes. They dove that turret for an extended amount of time. I got a little bit worried because in typical Mirage Alliance fashion, they have a tendency to just kind of stand under turrets or stay in the enemy base for too long, but they have enough tank stats, they have the items. You can look at the gold right now. Almost every single member of Mirage Alliance are ahead of their counterparts and in the top half of the gold. Sans for Robbie Bob, who's kind of standing there alone in that sea of blue up against Mirage Alliance, and got a lot of work to do. They're getting more teleports in.
Long chase. And Quacker's going to try and teleport out. Dardoch will spot it too late, and Quacker gets away. But that is teleport down now. That side lane pressure as the Baron is on the table here. Non-existent for Supernova.
You have to be so careful. You already have Sudsy in the area. You have this Caitlyn that can set up. It's so difficult to walk into Fog of War. You kind of just got to send it, and look at what's not available. There's no flash for Robbie Bob, and there's no Emperor's Divide quite yet.
Supernova are here earlier. Lorem will have to join in later, but the Ziggs damage yet again as Dardoch locks him down. Quacker's trying to get onto the backline. Will get one. Shut down on a Neo, but Quacker will fall. Sudsy's still alive and standing. Robbie Bob's going to have to put in some work here, but Sketch gets one for himself. Supernova have done it. They found Mirage Alliance split, and they take the 5v4 and win the fight.
They need to go for Baron immediately. It doesn't matter that Music is not alive. You have Azir and you have Jinx. This needs to be their play. Sudsy's going to get healed with the Redemption. This poke is going to have to be massive from him.
It's pretty big already. Trevor's health bar is struggling. Supernova cannot keep hitting the Baron. They got to hit Alorem instead. He'll claim one for himself. Nice flash from Sketch over the unstoppable onslaught, and Alorem will not get the kill.
That'll stop the Baron for now, and still a massive gold lead here for Mirage Alliance, but a bit of breathing room for Supernova. As more gold gets onto their carries, more items are starting to get picked up by the Supernova members. It is a Nashor's Tooth now finish for Quacker. Take a look at this replay. In my mind, I was looking at this. There's no damage dealers. Look at where Robbie Bob is. He's in Narnia right now. You have Sketch not hitting at this point. It is Neo and Sudsy you can free fire, but the front line just takes so much time. And it is Quacker, the guy that we've been looking for all series log so far to kind of step up. He finally has that huge Gwen moment.
Gets one. Would have loved to get onto Sudsy as well, but Sudsy does position correctly here. And then after the fact, has the confidence to walk up with the range of a Ziggs. You can push them off of the Baron, so nobody claims Baron. Back to live. Quacker will get a turret and has completed that second item, so Quacker will be a bigger threat, because keep in mind, during that fight, Quacker had not backed and bought. He teleported to turret, was trying to back, and then had to stick around, so didn't even have that second item. Imagine if he had. We're back to live, though. Music just flashing in onto Neo, gets away with the net, diving under the turret, dismembering it. As now Supernova will try and get back into the fight. They take a lot of damage from the Ziggs bomb, and that's Robbie Bob down. Sketch has no one to stand in front of him and has to back away. Double kill to Sudsy, and Mirage Alliance will go for Baron.
The Baron will get started. The Dragon's in 40 as well, so they can just very easily coast on over. Kangas, you asked me, Supernova, what is their timer? What is the time at which we look at their items and say they are allowed to now play the game, that they can start to spike, they can start to look good? It's those 2 to 3 items. They've now hit that, but right now they need to kind of realign. Someone in the comms needs to kind of calm everyone down and say, we are walking as 5, we are going to play a front-to-back team fight, how we've been wanting to all game. And they're starting to pick up some of those advantages. Yes, that fight was good. A Turo Baron buff going over to Mirage Alliance. We need to see them calm down, find flanks for Quacker, because we've already seen glimpses of how this team composition can operate.
The Turo Baron buff will be huge for Mirage Alliance as the Dragon's also spawning. This is their soul. Supernova will get a second chance at that team fight with their items, but Mirage Alliance have backed, I believe, most of them at least, and spent the money. Now they're just trying to dive straight in onto Robbie Bob, catching Supernova out in rotation. That's the Emperor's Divide, and the Mega Inferno Bomb will claim his life. Sudsy, with the scoped on to the mid laner, will claim another kill.
Sudsy, man, what a great story. He was kind of a mercenary that we've been seeing floating between different teams, never really having an incredible amount of success. He's won some of tier 3 leagues, but never really kind of step up on such a big stage. In spring, he joins Team Tony Top, and they dominate almost all of the qualifiers. Talking with him, he was saying the biggest thing for me was changing my mindset from being a support, a kind of solo lane player to
Trevor was hiding in the bush that whole time. They're going to get onto Sudsy.
Okay.
Speaking of, sing his praises, he will go down, but the rest of the team will avenge him. That is a 3-for-1 trade, and Mirage Alliance will feel very good about that one.
I know the comms from Mirage Alliance from Sudsy right now is, really guys, all for me? We're doing that just for little old me? Like, okay guys, we'll just win the game instead.
Mirage stacks, you know?
Yeah, he's got 21 of them. He got a lot of kills on the back end.
We're just diving for even more though. Robbie Bob does not have the Emperor's Divide this time. It's just coming off cooldown, but he does have flash.
That's the game.
With the Baron buff, Mirage Alliance will continue moving forward. There's just not enough damage from Robbie Bob, and Mirage Alliance move up 2-0 in the series, 1 game away from qualifying and earning their spot in NACL 2024 season.
We had an interview with Chad at the end of qualifiers, and he said, hey, we're confident we're a best of 5 team. Best of 3s, we can falter. We saw it in the promotion tournament, and we saw it back in the qualifiers. Here and now, they've made it to the best of 5s, and they're kind of putting where their money where their mouth is at this point, because now they've reached the best of 5s, and they are stomping.
Supernova will need a reverse sweep to maintain their spot in the NACL, which they earned with a different roster from spring into summer. This roster, though, backs against the wall. Mirage Alliance, one more win, and they punched their ticket to spring 2024. We're going to send it to a short break before we bring back Mazel for our Subway halftime refresh. We'll see you there.
Subway refreshed their ingredients, their menu, and now they're slicing their meats fresh. That's why their new Subway Series subs are preferred by this champ.
And his future champ.
Pros who are talking heads prefer fresh sliced turkey.
And pros who use their heads prefer fresh sliced ham.
More deli meats are preferred by this QB.
And preferred by his old backup QB.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. Is this slice as good as your tennis slice?
I can't answer that, but yes.